Hi everyone, this is Senior Create the Heart, and I'm here with the first week of the Paper Doll collaboration with Poetspice. Make sure that you look in the description box below where you can go ahead and click on all of the links so you can see everyone else's projects. So the idea behind this collab is not just traditional paper dolls where you make people, but anything you have to kind of paper piece to create something. So in this case, I'm going to be using products from Spellbinders, along with some other products, but mostly focusing on the Spellbinders Tropical Friends. This was a small die of the month a couple of months ago, but it can be bought as a standalone purchase. I highly recommend that when you get your dies from Spellbinders that you move them into better packaging because their packaging is not the greatest. But don't lose the little card because that does help in piecing together your little creatures. So this die makes a parrot and it makes a toucan. I highly recommend that you get some kind of a tool. It could be tweezers or it could be a tool like I'm showing right there with a wax end and a good glue that's got a fine point. So I'm kind of figuring out what pieces go with which bird. This die also includes a bunch of tropical greenery. It's really a great die set if you do any kind of tropical or beach scenes because you can use the other parts of this die with everything else. And so I do a terrible job of piecing together my toucan. So you're going to see me having to make some adjustments, but that's a normal life. On the die itself, when you cut out the black piece of the bird, there'll be an indentation of where to put some of these pieces. Now, I didn't guess really well. I should have started with the yellow piece, and I didn't, and so it kind of threw things off a little bit. And I also think I needed to overlap my largest piece onto the white, which I really did not do. But no worries, because the thing about this thing is that you can just trim it. It's not a big deal. It's still going to come out super cute, and it's not a big deal. So, but yeah, you go ahead and you piece together your toucan beak. Now, what I do is I think that is one piece. So I just take that piece and I cut it out of like 4 different color cardstock. And there is a piece where you can put an eye. So if you want your eye to be a different color, you can do that. But I want my eye to be black. So I just used a white gel pen to draw a little circle to kind of give it that eye look. And then you've got these teeny tiny little pieces here. We've got a little, this little piece goes on the beak, and I think this is really cute. And then you've got these little tiny little feet. So I just put a little bit of glue at the bottom of, there's like these little tiny little pieces for the feet that you can just use. This is where your little wax tool comes in handy. And then I've got my pieces for my parrot. And same thing, when you die cut this, there is kind of an indentation that kind of gives you a guide of where to put that white piece. And then you go ahead and you do your beak. And that is great. So I did go ahead and I used the piece for the eye. And then I used a white gel pen just for that center. I think that's the way to go. And this is where that little tool comes in handy. And then the parrot leaves. So you can, see that gray piece right there, you can use that piece and die cut it and just have it be one color. Or you could piece together some pieces to create a multicolored tail. I used that gray piece to help me, and you can go ahead and just kind of pull it down, or you can use that gray piece that you see there it's a little bit of a struggle because if you don't do it the right way, it kind of is funky. So you see me kind of piecing that together, and I'm not too concerned about it being kind of exact because it's a little bit bigger than that piece, the little tail feathers, and so it's going to cover up that gray piece, and then that top one side of it's going to attach to the bird, so it won't really be too noticeable. Once it's all put together, it looks good. So kind of making sure I'm piecing it the right way, and then I'm going to stick it on the tail end of my bird. So there you go. And then you can do different things with the wing. So I've got some different examples. You'll see them. You can piece together the wing with 3 different colors, 2 different colors, or just do 1, or you could do it monochromatic. I wanted my bird to have lots of color, so that's kind of what happened there. And then I almost forgot the feet. So the little feet are just super tiny pieces. Same thing, there's a little bit of leg on there for you to attach these little feet. And this is where that wax tool is what you kind of need, or some kind of tweezers. I'm not good with tweezers, so that's what I do. I thought I was using the Beach Paradise, but I'm not. I do have that as an example, but what I did with this is I took an orange piece of paper, and I actually have this really cool doodle plate from Waffle Flower, and I hot foiled that using that gold plate. Since I did my Pink Fresh Studio hot foiling class, I feel way more confident about using foil, and I got this plate because it's tropical. I got it specifically for sort of Hawaiian and tropical inspired cards, and so I pieced them together some of this greenery, and a little bit more confident on foiling colored cardstock. So I foiled orange, and then I did some like ink blending on the edge. I think it's Marmalade Distress Oxide ink, and I foiled it first. And then that's where my bird's going to go. And then I'm just going to piece together a bunch of greenery. So I cut a lot of greenery out of a couple different cardstocks that I had from other projects that I've been working on this summer. So it's just a good way of using up all that kind of cardstock that's kind of lying around everywhere. And I use some for the other cards, which I'm going to show you at the end. I think I've got 3 cards to show you guys that I really love how they came out. I mean, this is a great die set because I think it's not like specific to a season. I mean, I guess summer, but you could just use these little birdies for all different kinds of general cards. And I think that they also are nice for masculine cards too, because it's tropical vibe. I mean, you could do more, dark sort of colors if you wanted to. I think I've got one that looks a little bit more masculine, but it's not quite so girly as all the other things I usually use. But you can see, like, once you start kind of placing all of your greenery around, and I had not planned it out where I was going to put the greenery. I kind of knew where I was going to put my birds because I wanted to put both birds on here. But once you start putting all the greenery down and you put the birds down, even though it's a mishmash, it ends up looking really, really great. And so I'm planning on using all these pieces. Just really a great way too of using up little pieces of cardstock that you have laying around from other projects, and just kind of use that up. And I'm just kind of figuring out, like, where am I going to put all of these leaves? And what I like about these is they're a really nice size. I like kind of the smallness of these tropical leaves, so they'll fit in a lot of different spaces for a lot of different cards that you might have to make. And so I'm going to prop my birds on some foam just for a little added extra something. And I think my aloha also is also unfurled. So I'm just trying to make sure that it's not going to be sticking out so it can fit into a regular size envelope. And there we go. So I'm going to show you a couple of the other cards that I made. Here's that first one. And thank you so much for watching. This is Cindy, praying for heart.